Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Eve, this is Everyday Artist, and welcome. And this is Rogue. Maybe it should be Everyday Artist, even Rogue. Will you help me? Yeah. It is July 16th. And the only reason I know that is because Amazon keeps sending me notices of stuff that I couldn't possibly afford to buy. I'm like, you know, if you look at a lesser priced item, right now they're sending you, this is driving me nuts. It's crooked, sorry. You see all my junk over here. They're sending you notices of a similar item that is like a gazillion times more, but it's on sale. So obviously, you know, you're going to want it. And the sad thing is that works. It doesn't work for me. If it's not in my budget, I'm not buying it. Well, unless I go to the attic. Okay, so I've been able to resist lately because it's been a day over 2 weeks. No, well, it's been about 2 weeks since I last filmed. I know yesterday was Monday. I didn't remember that it was Monday until 9:30 at night, and I just was too tired to do anything. Last Monday, they were removing a great deal of the furniture from this house and putting it in storage until we find a new place and move it in. My son took the couch that I would sit on to stitch, and he said, "These couches are fine," and he moved these over there. I mean, he has all this, he has a plan for staging. I can't stitch on this couch. I can't even sit properly on this couch. Yeah, I sit on it every week, but I'm on the edge of the couch so that my feet will reach the ground. It's not comfortable for me to sit for any length of time here. So I've been trying to stitch in my bed, which is equally uncomfortable. And also, all my life, whenever I would try to sleep, it was difficult for me. So I normally don't do anything in my room that isn't sleeping. So I go in, and if I'm on the bed, I get sleepy. That's the plan, right? Except not when I'm trying to stitch. I finally got lighting because my light was taken away. I'm not sitting right by the window, so I can kind of see it, but I'm really uncomfortable and it's hard to stitch that way. So there is that. Now I did a tiny bit of stitching and I'll show you. If for 2 weeks I should have a lot. I don't. And then last Saturday a week ago, we had gone to my sister's house to film that Saturday. But Sunday we were supposed to go back for my brother-in-law's birthday. No. For what? Oh, Hannah came into town. And we were going to go eat dinner there, just a party. I don't remember. Saturday night, I'm on the couch I'd like to stitch on, and I was trying to stitch or something. And my dog was standing on the floor, we have tile floors, and made a sound like she wanted to vomit. So I wanted her to vomit outside, and the dog door was just to my left, so I got up to try to encourage her to go outside. And apparently she had already vomited. And my bare feet on tile hit that, and I slid. And my hand hit something, and I didn't know what. My knees smacked into the ground. I know that because I had vomit on my knees and on my feet, and it was disgusting. You know, but I had cut my hand on something, and I didn't know what. I didn't know if I cut it on the dog's collar. I don't think so. On something on the coffee table, the edge of the coffee table, you know, I don't know what. I cut my hand. And because I hadn't had a tetanus shot in a gazillion million years, I decided it would be prudent. So this is what's left of that injury right here. They determined I had bruises all over here, and this was bruised pretty badly. And I'm not going to show you a picture of that because, although I do have some, it's gross. But I'm right-handed. My hand was all bandaged up for a few days, and then I switched it to Band-Aids, which wouldn't stay on. And that Monday, we had almost every door and everything open while they were moving stuff out, because they were going in and out and in and out and in and out. These guys, they were great. They're friends of Robert's. They did it for free. Well, I think my son bought him some beer later, but it was fantastic. They did it fast. They did it, well, fast for a whole household with furniture. And the air conditioning couldn't cope with it because, I'll show you my temperature chart. It was well over 110. They were drinking gallons of water. And but it was so hot in here that, and I was helping move things, and you know, as much as I could, with the fact that I realized when I was in the urgent care to get my hand looked at and get the tetanus shot, I said, no, I don't need anything for pain. I'm okay. And as I sat there, because I went right after it happened. As I sat there, I was like, everything hurts. And I couldn't stand for more than a few minutes. So I think I re-jarred whatever it was I hurt many years ago when I fell out of a van. And so I took some extra strength Tylenol there finally. And I decided that I was hurt worse than I thought I was. So I did what I could, but I was so hot. I was so hot. And I couldn't go into the pool because I wasn't supposed to get my hand wet. And I was like, I've got to take a bath. I don't know how I'm going to take a bath with not being able to get my hand wet, but I couldn't stand it, you know. When you're used to being clean all the time, being dirty like that, you know, you try to remedy that situation. It's not that I mind getting dirty, but especially sweat, it just, ugh. You know, so I still am in a lot of pain from that fall. My back hurts all the time now, and my shoulder, this shoulder, because it was this hand, you know. So that's enough moaning and bitching and complaining about that. Sorry about that word. I don't normally say that word, but I'm sorry. So I lost track of time. I didn't know what day it was. So here we are, midday Tuesday, and I'm finally filming something. So let's get started. It's not a lot. I probably will have talked longer than it'll take to show you my stitching. And one of the viewers, Vicky, sent my sisters and I some really nice stuff. And while I remember what I chose out of there, I have no idea where it is. I think it's at my sister's house. I don't know. I think we were all really happy with some of the stuff that was in there. So my cross stitch camp piece for June, Life is Better, Meow, Erica Michaels. I'm not going to finish. I want to finish, but it's already the 16th, and I've barely done anything. We were to change at least 2 colors. I decided to change all the colors. The cat was white and, you know, on the chest like this and feet, and then the gray tabby pretty much everywhere else. His face was white too, I think. I'll look at his picture. Anyway, she had put this word better for the eyes. Well, my cat has green eyes, so I chose a green. Unfortunately, because I'm using this variegated DMC, the green doesn't show up very well in that lighter area, and I switched it to yellow and I didn't like it, so I switched back to green. And this is where his paws are going to be. I started on the next row and then I said I'm too tired, so that's why it's like that. And I decided to try to go ahead and stitch the letters. I ran out of thread, so I wouldn't stitch over. And I think when I get it done, I'm going to be really happy. But yeah, I don't know if the white is going to show up against this fabric. Probably not. But I'll just backstitch whatever doesn't have gray around it to make it show up, because I want to use white because he had white legs. Okay. The cat was 14 years old, I think. And you know, I think that God gave us pets that don't live very long for a reason, to help us learn to deal with grief and all that. And people say that cats don't return affection the way dogs do. That's not true. Now, that cat was definitely my son's cat. But when my son was in elementary school, he'd come home from school and the cat would be like lounging somewhere in the living room. And he'd hear him come in that door and he'd bound toward him and jump into his arms. So don't tell me cats can't return affection. They can. And it's always a hard loss, especially if it's not from natural causes, you know. But it helps us learn to deal with grief and be able to move on. It's hard. And it's harder when it's a human, you know, someone in family or whatever. But I think things happen the way they happen for a reason, you know. I am very, very, very attached to this dog. More so than any dog I've ever had. But I can't even think about it. So I can't even imagine how my son feels about his dog, his cat. So, yeah, periodically I see him looking at pictures of his cat. Enough of that. Okay, so my first June call for WIPGO, cute boots, X's and O's. I'm doing it on 32 count. Oh, by the way, I'm doing that on 32 count Lugana in Stormy Clouds or something like that. I should know. I'm sorry, I don't. This is 32 count fabric that I dyed myself. It's not a Lugana, I don't think. I think it's just, I don't know what. I got it at Hobby Lobby and dyed it. But I'm anxious to finish this, but I was trying to work on it sitting in my bed. And finally I told my son, put light bulbs in my room. Because when my light bulbs had gone out, he just went in there and put one in, and the other two weren't there in my overhead lights. And so he put them in, and I was able to stitch a little bit better. But and the same thing is happening with the cat. I do a stitch, and I'm like, wait, I got that in the wrong hole. So for everything you've seen here, I stitched it like 3 or 4 times. So I didn't get a whole lot done on it. I started on the boot here, but I finished his tummy and his legs. So now I have the boots and the water, and then the words. But I'm not going to work on it anymore this month. I really love it. I want to finish it. Circumstances, but I want to go ahead and move to the other one that is and to all good night, Stitching with Housewives. And sorry, I'm so, because my back hurts so much, I've been taking muscle relaxers and I cannot wake up. So I'm really tired and trying to get moving stuff done. Yeah. What was I talking about? Oh. So I've been able to do a little bit, I got a little bit more headway on the 2023 temperature cell on the bottom flowers. So this flower is almost done. This flower is done. It's got some flowers just coming up like this, and that's where I start in the blues. That's right here. Yellow buds, and then it goes into blue flowers. And then once I reach the end of here, I'm done with green. And it's just blues and purples. I really like the way she designed that. It's very pretty. These greens are 2 different greens. So, yeah. And I did stitch a little bit more of the border. This is where it's going to go across here. I need a tiny bit more of this color over here. But I'm very pleased with the way that's looking. Let's just hope I can get it done before the end of the year. And lastly, Stitchin Mommy's temperature turtles. Mine don't look like this. So there's June. Super hot, right? This represents 109 to 115, 116 in the first 2 weeks of July. Yesterday, wasn't as hot. Monday night, it poured. It rained so hard. You know, we most of our rain comes in what they call the monsoon season here. They're not really monsoons, but that's what they call them. We got, I still have standing water on my porch. It hasn't evaporated yet. I'm waiting for it to evaporate so I can go out and clean it because it is all kinds of gross out there. I walked barefoot in there to get something that fell in the water that I didn't want to be in the water. And I'm probably going to end up throwing it away. But we had straight line winds like this hitting the house. I'm not sure. There might have been hail. It was late and I was already in bed, and I hate thunder. And so I was listening to everything. And I heard sounds that sounded like the house was going to fall apart. It blew so hard, it blew, we have chairs out there, it blew it over. And this was in the porch where it was protected from a great deal of it. We had a guy come over to work on the house yesterday. We needed a repair done, and he lives not too far from here. And he showed me pictures of his roof where he was missing tiles, it broke stuff, and he goes, it started raining in the house. So we looked out with that. We didn't have that. But I drove yesterday to get something, prescription or something. And there was a big tree that had been uprooted, and it wasn't even a Palo Verde tree. It was, you know, a regular tree, and it had been uprooted. So it was a pretty wild storm. So it was cooler the next day. The sun looks hot today. So we may get some different colors here. But it has been so hot this summer that it was really nice to have, just even though it was only like 108, 109, something like that, it felt cooler. It wasn't like searing your skin hot. So, yeah. It's my fault it's been so hot. The 2 years that I decided to do a temperature chart, it gets really, really interesting weather for Phoenix. Oh well. You ready to say goodbye, little girl? You ready to say goodbye? You have friends. Say goodbye to your friends. Oh, she's asleep. She doesn't know what to make of all this moving. Say goodbye. have a good week. I'm not sure when I'll be filming again, so hopefully Monday, but who knows. Then probably again I'll have no stitching, but I'm going to try. Thanks. Bye.